Hello, all you peeps and pipettes out there. It's me, Zero, back with another stream for all ya. Thanks for joining me today, this afternoon. This evening. What time is it? Who are you? Where am I? But hey, it's good to see you guys. Watcher Zigzagoon already here in the chat. Howdy do. Tails popping up. Hi, Tails. Hello, Tails. In with the ooh. Zigzagoon, you're doing alright. To be perfectly fair, full disclosure, since I'm playing the Pokemon Shield, I don't actually get to see the chats, so I don't know what you're talking about with the disruptive stuff. But as for me, it's certainly been a Monday. It's I don't know what it is today, but it's been difficult to do things properly. Not in a, like, I don't feel under the weather, and I feel like I got enough sleep. I seem to remember having gone to bed. I'm not inebriated, but it's, I keep forgetting things today, so we'll see what happens with today's stream, if I can get anything worthwhile out. But hopefully we can, because it's a pretty fun family today. We're doing the Nincada Family. Woot woot. So let's take a look at this bugaboo. Tail says it's afternoon for me. You see, I knew that, and I did that on purpose. But yes, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, whatever part of the world it is for you guys out in internet land. We're going to start off as we always do. Zigzagoon says, well, this morning I was up the moment my clock went off, which didn't happen before. Normally I'm groggy when I get up in the morning, but that was when I go to bed at my usual time. Did you get to bed earlier or later than your usual time? I never paid attention to things like REM cycles and stuff, but I think it does make a difference being able to wake up not in the middle of a REM cycle, and so that your brain can actually, like, finish, rebooting or whatever it is that happens. I have been waking up like minutes before my alarm clock for some reason. Even when I go to bed late, I'll tend to wake up just minutes before my alarm, and it's very strange and unnerving to me. Tail says, do you ever think it's weird that good morning, good afternoon, and good evening is a greeting, but good night is a parting phrase? Yeah, you don't really meet someone at 9 like, good night. I never thought about that. I guess you don't normally, in normal circumstances, meet someone for the first time at night. That's, in the olden days, you couldn't see when you were out and about at night, and if you could, it was by lantern light, and everything was spooky and dangerous, so most folks who were not ill-intentioning would be tucked away home in safety. Speak for yourself, says Tails. Excuse you, I'm a night owl myself. Zig says, so my mom and I assume that I'm groggy because I sleep more than I should during the evening. I don't think you're supposed to be sleeping during the evening at all. That might be something causing it. Yes, that is odd, now that you mention it. Tails is like, I live in a desert. It's best to meet up at night. Oh, okay. I guess that that is true, but then again, I don't think in the olden days, and I'm talking about, like, I talk about the olden days because that's when languages were, like, coming up, I would assume. I don't think many people would live in the desert. In fact, it was almost impossible to cross a desert, militarily speaking. Anyway, let's sort out this Pokedex entry. Nincada is the trainee Pokemon. That I didn't expect. The language should catch up. Are you proposing that we use good night as a greeting, or do we need like a new phrase for it? Because people also don't say good morning as a parting. It's not like the other ones are also are like dual usage. Let's see. Okay, biology. Oh wait, I skipped the actual specs. Nincada is only 1'8" tall. Very small. Its leveling rate is erratic. I don't think I've ever paid attention to the leveling rate. Has a hidden ability of runaway. I always forget that it's part ground. I didn't realize it's part ground. I always thought it was... Oh, of course it's part ground. That's why it's in Mouse's comic. It would have to be. Duh. Okay. So let's... I love the shape. I love the little image that they have for the shape. You probably can't see it, but it's the goofiest looking ant. Alright. Nincada is a small whitish insectoid Pokemon. It has a pointed snoot, a thin stripe that dips in a V-shaped pattern between its eyes, and 2 whisker-like antennae on its face. Its eyes are black with green iris-like rings inside. As it is virtually blind, it uses its antenna to sense its surroundings. On its back is a pair of small green wings. Its hind legs are white, but the forelegs are brown and have sharp claws. The claws are used to carve the roots of trees and absorb moisture and nutrients. Nincada builds underground nests at the roots of trees in tropical and temperate forests. It can occasionally live up to 10 years underground. It does not like sunlight, so it avoids it. Nincada is nearly blind due to living almost entirely underground. It uses its antenna to see instead. It's very cool, very cool. I like its eyes. I like how they appear sort of sunken in. Very nice. Have good afternoon, good evening as a parting. I think that could work, yeah. I don't know. I never really thought about the approachability of those terms. Shelly! And it's why she can't evolve. So, the boys are in the grave. Having seen what took place after I left, I can conclude that poor planning is the cause of death. No retreat was a very bad idea. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I could have switched it out for someone else because the other Pokemon did tank the move, but it would have been risky, you know. But hindsight is 2020. I probably should have switched to the other Pokemon. Let's see. Using its whisker-like antenna, it probes its surroundings in the pitch-black darkness of soil. Because it lives almost entirely underground, it is nearly blind. It grows underground, sensing its surroundings using antenna instead of its virtually blind eyes. It can sometimes live underground for more than 10 years, absorbing nutrients from the roots of trees. Underground many years in complete darkness, stays motionless as it waits for evolution. That doesn't sound very trainee to me. Trainee makes me feel like it's like out there attempting to evolve. But this one says it just stays still until it does. Why did you not use Brick Break when fighting that penguin? Would that have gone right through its head? I don't know the well, I guess I should have attempted it at least. The move is literally called Brick Break. Shoot. I really should have attempted it. That was misfortunate oversight on my part, I think. Okay. I think the Pokédex entries are pretty standard. Oh, I never really got to help Mouse figure out the markings on Shelly's back, did I? I said I would help with that a long time ago, and I just never did. Nincada has a really pretty shiny. It's like a little golden beetle. It looks almost Egyptian with the little splotch of blue. Wait! Why does its wings turn blue? It's green in everything else, and then, like, suddenly in the 3D model, it turns blue. And now it's colorless. And now it's virtually colorless. Okay. Why is it called the trainee Pokemon? It didn't mention anything about being a trainee. Nincada is the... Like, I get that it turns into a ninja, and it has ninja in its name, but it didn't, like, mention anything about it training to be a ninja. Only Pokemon that evolves into 2 Pokemon at once. Combination of ninja and cicada. Yeah. I don't get it. I thought it would explain the trainee portion of it. Oh, I didn't take a screenshot of that. Return. Take a picture of this, so I have it for later. Next. Ninjaska. Zewo, hello, Tails. I am here. I can't catch anything I like in my Shield Nuzlocke. I'm sorry, Tails. This is your fate. Tails, you don't catch things that you already like in a Nuzlocke. If you wanted to do that, you wouldn't be playing a Nuzlocke. The whole point of a Nuzlocke is to catch things you don't like and wouldn't use. If you don't want to play with Pokemon you don't like, just don't play a Nuzlocke. Or you can, like, do a half lock where you just use the death thing. Or do, like, I don't know. I don't know any other special rules. Hello, Bernard Mysterious. Nincada Family? Yes. I am drawing the Nincada Evolution Family as, listed on Bulbapedia. It's Nincada, Ninjask, and Shedinja. I'm gonna do a little illustration with the 3 of them. Tails is like, I can't even catch stuff I'm neutral towards, like I did on my Heart Gold Soul Silver. Oh, that's just rotten luck for you, Tails. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. So, Ninjask is the ninja Pokemon. It gets a speed boost. Oh, I like that its hidden ability is Infiltrator because it is the ninja Pokemon. It's a small boy, only 2 foot 7 inches. I think Beedrill is like, what, 3 feet tall at least? Leveling rate is erratic. I don't think... Oh, I love the little shape. The little shape dudes are so cute. I don't think I've gotten a what's it called? A Nincada in my Pokemon Go yet. I don't recall seeing one in the wild. Evolves from Nincada. Ninjask is A small cicada-like Pokemon with 2 pairs of wings. Its body is mostly black with accents of yellow and gray. Most of its head is yellow, but there is a solid band of black between its gleaming red eyes. Ooh. Bernard says, lol, Tails, Nuzlocke, you gotta be lucky. Watcher Zig says, I'm also rather disappointed you didn't mention the poster to Sonia. That dialogue was funny, and you missed out on it. Aw, that sucks. I thought there would be, like, some other fun thing. Like, I normally go for the funny option, but for that one, like, I legit, that dialogue option I chose was actually what I thought when I saw it, so I just wanted to choose that for some reason. But I immediately regretted it. Like, immediately. I definitely should have chose the other one. Tails is like, it's always like, oh, there's only one Pokemon I don't like in this route. I'm fine with everything else. Runs into that one Pokemon. Do you not have, like, the overworld, the ability to catch the overworld Pokemon? Like, why aren't you running into anything that you like? And how are you that unlucky? I'm pretty sure there's at least some Pokemon that you would like, just from random encounter. Bernard says also static encounters is probably the best thing in my opinion, or gift encounters. They do saves or miracles sometimes. Tails says, I liked the dialogue we did get. It was nice, but I didn't feel like it was very specific to my answer, you know? Like, I feel like that last one would have given me a specific answer to, before it went straight back into, lore. The band expands into a circular pattern on its forehead, between 2 pointed crests on the side of its head. You know, someday, I feel like it would be a fun game if you guys picked a Bulbapedia entry and read the biology while, like, while getting rid of any, nouns? I don't know what to call it. Like, instead of saying Ninjask, you don't say the name, you say, like, this Pokemon. If certain words are, like, too specific, like, if it says cicada-like, you get rid of that, too. Which, like, is a small Pokemon with 2 pairs of wings. Its body is mostly black, and I wonder if I can draw that Pokemon, you know? Based on just that. Oh, I'm sorry, Tails, I didn't mean to make you sad. Oh, oh wow, I missed a bunch of... Didn't get the pony. I feel like the pony would have been a very difficult catch. Most of the Mon I want the most were too small for me to see in the grass. Or I accidentally ran into the random encounter before I get the Mon I want. Or I don't get the pony in the forest. Or the Eevee in the fields. Rough. The probably worst route for anyone is the route where it's mostly Spindas. I like Spinda. I'm having the worst time to remember the name, but yeah, that was the only route I was hoping always. Don't be Spinda. Want to try it out tonight? Try what out? Oh, the one where it's... Oh, the game? Oh, the one where it's raining ash in Hoenn, right? Pokemon Master Wheeler! Howdy do, Miss Kittyface. Meow. Yeah, the pony wouldn't have been worth it anyhow. Hi, Wheeler. I'm kind of sad that I have to get the pony in Shield when I really want Sirfetch'd. I'm really sad that, we get, shoot, what is it? What's the Darumaka, we talked about it yesterday. What's the region? Oh, the Corsola. I'm so sad we get the Corsola instead of the Darumaka. Like, that thing is so cute. Hey, Wheelie. The pony is always worth it. The only thing I didn't like in the forest, was the monkey and the imp, and I got the monkey. I'm like looking at these Pokemon though in like the context of my Nuzlocke's theme of total defiance of like renegade Pokemon, and I feel like that monkey would have been a cool addition to that roster. You know, just like can't you just imagine him in I don't know, Soviet hat and like aviator glasses, and just kind of like sitting in the chair and spins around. It's like, you know, I like that would have been really cool. I think the other than the Tyrogue, the Impidimp is probably the most disappointing one. Like I don't really want that thing at all, but the only caveat, like the only speck of interest I have is that it has imp in the name, and I get to name it Tails. Like, your suffering is my joy. I'm sorry. Anyway, I think I know that route. It's in the Hoenn region. I was the one person hoping for a Spinda on the route that's 90% Spinda. I'd be happy to look for a good entry. The pony was cute, therefore worth it. Yo, Tails, if you're gonna stick around the whole 3 hours of my stream, then I'd love it if you found me a fun entry. Because reading this Ninjask, reading this Ninjask description, I cannot picture, like, I know what Ninjask looks like, but I have no idea what it's talking about in terms of there's a black band that goes here and then it goes across and up. I'm like, what are you talking about? For Darumaka, like I understand you may like Spinda, but in a Nuzlocke, I need Pokemon who can survive or do work no matter how much I like the Pokemon. It's sad, I know, but I don't want them to die just because. Dreadnought was a beast, and you wasted it in a hunt for a stupid unicorn. I know. I'm sorry. I lost focus, okay? And I didn't think that Mushroom would have a grass type move. It looks, I don't know. Yeah, Chomper was good. It was good. Zig chill. Nah, Zig is valid. That was definitely stupid on my part. I liked Chomper so much. A good turtle, but a turtle. Ooh. Still better than a pony. Reptiles need love too. Insects, not so much. Also, Bernard, I feel you. Hello, Rat Skull. Coming in, Rat Skull. Congratulations, you've received a 1,000 messages today. Woot woot, I guess. Thanks, Restreamio. Tail says, I love Spinda, but I don't want a Pokemon that's, like, gonna die. Sure thing, Zero. I don't know. I'm with you, but also, like, I don't really like Skarmory that much. I don't know what else is on that route. Were there Sandshrew in the route, or am I just, like, am I, crazy? Think of the gold on the head. Anyway. Sorry, I got carried away, chatting with the chat. You guys are so much fun to hang out with, but I gotta start drawing. The underside of its head is gray and segmented, making it somewhat resemble a veil. On its back, it's a patch of black with a stretch of yellow, shaped like an upside down letter Y. Most of its carapace and abdomen is black, but there's a ring of yellow near the tip. Like, I don't understand what any of this is. I'm not. Like, I thought I knew what a ninjask looks like, but none of this is ringing a bell. Its gray insectoid arms extend from its chest, usually have their small yellow claws turned inward. There is a similar pair of black legs. It has large veined wings with triangular red tipping. Ninjask is a very fast Pokemon that is said to be able to evade any attack, and was long believed to be invisible due to its high speed. If it is not trained properly, it will refuse to obey its trainer and cry loudly. Oh no, that's so cute. Dude, I'm assuming it means cry as in like an animal cry, you know, like how a cicada would make noise, but I'm just imagining it like crying like a little baby, like boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Due to this, it is said to put the trainer's abilities to the test. Hearing its loud cry for too long induces a headache. It lives in tropical and temperate forests where it congregates around tree sap to feed. If you play well enough, any Pokemon can survive, except a Magikarp. I mean, if you play well enough, your Magikarp can still evolve and survive. And Magikarps sometimes come with tackle nowadays, so it's not completely defenseless. Let's see. Oh, that's a good, helpful Ninjask. Let's see. Does it have any more wisdom to share? So quick it is said to be able to avoid any attack. Are you sure about that? Fire Red, Leaf Green, are you sure about that? This Pokemon is so quick, it is said to be able to avoid any attack. So, like, anyone who has a Ninjask can just expect it to dodge every attack, huh? Yeah, cicadas would make you deaf. Zuri, Zuri, Zuri. Its cry leaves a lasting headache if heard for too long. It moves so quickly that it is almost invisible. I guess you could say it gotta go fast. Okay, let's see. Take a screenshot of this. Pachoo. And next, Ninja. Ninja. It is considered a special evolution of Nincada, the shed Pokemon. Nukinin. Bug Ghost Wonder Guard. That's weird. I would say it's pretty similar to Ninjask, but it has a different body shape. Shedinja. Shedinja is a Pokemon based on... Wait, did I? Okay. Based on a cicada's shed exoskeleton. Most of its body is light brown, but the abdomen is gray. It has 4 protrusions on its underside instead of legs. The top part is brown, while the lower is gray. There are round protrusions on the side of its head with narrow slits for eyes. 2 lines encircle its abdomen, and a white halo floats above its head. On its back is a pair of tattered wings divided into 3 wing tips. A hole between its wings reveals that the body is completely hollow and dark, as it possesses no internal organs. I don't know why, but I deeply dislike the word organs when referring to Pokemon, especially external features. It is said that looking into this empty space will steal one's spirit. That raises the question of, like, who discovered it was empty? Maybe a businessman? Pokemon Master Wheeler says Pokemon organs. Organs! The Simpsons. Cicadas would make you dead. Okay. Its shell is very hard, which gives it strong defense but renders it incapable of movement. It does not breathe and floats without moving its wings. It lives in tropical and temperate forests. That's pretty cool though. Like, you know, I used to love picking up and like finding little cicada shells, the nymph shells that they leave behind, but they're always so crunchy and brittle. So it's really interesting that when I look at this Pokemon, I always imagine it being crunchy and brittle, but apparently it's rock hard, like armor. Oh, this one is cute. I love it. Let's see. Shedinja's hard body doesn't move, not even a twitch. In fact, its body appears to be merely a hollow shell. It is believed that this Pokemon will steal the spirit of anyone peering into its hollow body from its back. Shedinja is a peculiar Pokemon. It seems to appear unsought in a Pokeball after a Nincada evolves. This bizarre Pokemon is entirely immobile. It doesn't even breathe. A peculiar Pokemon that floats in air, even though its wings remain completely still. The inside of its body is hollow and utterly dark. A most peculiar Pokemon. A discarded bug shell that came to life, peering into the crack on its back, is said to steal one's spirit. Tails says, so Zero, something like this. An amphibious, bipedal Pokemon with an ovoid body. It is mostly blue with a tan oval marking line lined with black, stretched from the bottom of its belly to its forehead. Its black eyes are round, its upper lip is round as well, its curves down sharply at the... That's just a Palpitoad. That's a fun game, though. I feel like this could be a fun game of, like, who's that Pokemon? Seismitoad? I think it's a Palpitoad. I think a Temple? It was completely different than the Pokemon. I thought we were all supposed to guess. No, I'm supposed to, like, draw it based solely on the description, because I was reading Ninja's description and I was like, I couldn't picture what it was talking about at all. Yeah, I guess some Pokemon would be a little too easy, and then others would yeah, I don't know. Something like that, though. I don't know if maybe picking and choosing the parts that are described could be fun. Or what if we create a new Pokemon by everyone picking, like, a sentence from a sentence from, like, a one of the Pokemon biologies, and it, like, trying to put them all together. I don't know how that would work, but that could be fun too. No Gen 5 apparently. Yeah. Oh, if you choose, like, a Gen 6 Pokemon, or even maybe a Gen 8, though I'm not sure. Gen 7 maybe, like something that I haven't played a lot of, that probably would do it. It would be an abomination, but that's the fun, Zigzagoon. A discarded shell that came to life steals one's spirit. A discarded bug shell. Hard body doesn't move. Seems to peculiar. Okay, well, I have a bit of an idea of what I want to do for this, but it would involve some painting, I guess. And I'm not confident in my painting ability, so let's just try it real quick. And if it goes well, then I'll continue. And if it doesn't, then I'll stop. And it's as simple as that. So let's pull out my oil painting brush, the one I like a lot. I'm trying to imagine what I want to do. So the idea is kind of a dark space on this side. Right? And then... yeah, the problem is when I make the brush too big, it starts to lag. I don't know if I want it to be so specifically like a corridor, but something like that. And then on top, let's see. Okay, so something like that to start with. And then what I'm thinking is Shed Ninja. Where did my screenshots go? There they are. Open with preview. And oh, I made it too big. Ah. I need to do its wingspan first. I accidentally made it too big because I don't want him to go off the page. And then let's see, some gray. Let's see. I want to make it as emotionless as possible because I think that's part of the charm. Why is it rotating? Why is it rotating? No. Why does it... Wee! You spin me right round. Okay. No, don't rotate. I want you to make my... Oh, it's because I'm clicking the wrong key. I keep pressing the mine is I'm supposed to be pressing the brackets to change my brush size. Okay. Sorry. Minor brain fart. Also, I was like, why is my black not coming out black? It's because I had my opacity on. That's why. I'm okay. I'm pulling myself together. Don't worry. Gotta do things right. Okay. Like a record, baby. Round, round, round. Let's see. Sorry. I was freaking out about spinning and I need to catch up. Zero likes making abominations. Are you gonna do something oriental? Like feudal Japan art? No, I did something like that for C Dot. I'm gonna do something horror for this one. So guys, what was the first Pokemon you ever set eyes upon? Man, I can't remember that. That's way too far. For me, it was actually two Pokemon, Machoke and Poliwag. Although actually, maybe it was Golem. The Gen 1 starters. Though I formerly remember seeing Machoke and Poliwag before any other Pokemon. I think also Zero, I think I have a Gen 7 Mon for you. Be right back. Baby, right? Okay, let's see. And then with that coming at you from the shadows, I have... Shoot, I don't know what to do with... Okay. Well, let me backtrack. Backtrack a little bit. Let's go back. Let's roll back the rock to the dawn of time when the earth was smoking and the lava flowed. I didn't draw the Pokemon. So let me actually draw these Pokemon first so I actually can sort of figure them out. Do some sketching. Nincada. Nincada's line is the one that I always get so confused with the names. Like every time I'll stumble on which one is which. It's Nincada, the Machoke line, the Machop line. I can never tell which one is which. Yeah, something about those two lines always throw me off. Everyone else I'm pretty good with, I think. I can't think of any other line that, like, off the top of my head that gives me quite as much trouble as these two. Nincada and Ninjask. Okay, and then I like how it kind of walks around on its knuckles. In addition to birds and snakes, I've never been much a fan of bugs, like drawing bugs. But recently I've been trying to get into it more, because I have this whole, like, fictional world kind of building thing that I want to develop, and in it, bugs are like the new animal kingdom. So like they've all evolved bigger and can basically be considered livestock and beasts of burden, and are subsequently used as such. So I've been trying to... I like the idea of having the characters kind of in my normal cartoony style, but then the bugs just super realistically rendered bugs, and they're all huge. That's my dream. Sadly, I'm not quite there yet, and I don't really have a style developed for how the humans would look, how the other creatures should look. I don't have much anything developed for it, but That's the dream. I have a dream for this kind of world building. And maybe someday I'll get there. Tail says, Bayak, what do you miss? I don't know. Oh, okay. I'm sketching because I realized I just jumped into like render or like painting, and I didn't do the thing that I like to do where I draw the actual Pokemon. And I gotta do that. I gotta, you know, it's one of my favorite parts is to actually draw the Pokemon as is before I start to mess with it. While doing this series, I have to draw some Pokemon that I've never drawn before, and you know, they always say you gotta learn the rules before you break them, so it's nice to be able to get the rules out of the way, and in this case, the rules are the actual anatomy and the actual proportions of the actual Pokemon, which I am getting terribly wrong, but let's move on from that. The next one is Ninjask, which is one of those Pokemon that I always think I know how it looks, but I don't actually. Like, I didn't realize it had these little, what would you call them? Little cat ears? The horns on the top. Oh, he's got really cute eyes. Anything with round eyes with a big old shine in the middle ends up looking kind of cute. Even if you're a bug. Okay. And then... so it's got... okay, so now I'm seeing the black... the black band that goes between the eyes. I didn't know about that really. And it does, in fact, connect around to its body. That's a little weird. It almost looks like a little car. It's like a cute little car. It's a cute little, transformer. Oh, look at that. It's got pecs. It's got pecs, y'all. Have you ever looked closely at a Ninjask's chest? Because let me show you what I see. I see the Ninjask's face, and then I just see like a buff man bod. Put some shine on that. Let's see. I think there's a leg there and a leg there. And then it's got these muscular Popeye arms right here. Make it pop. Strong. I need to learn how to draw muscles again. I haven't done figure drawing in so long, so it's really kind of escaped me, but being able to whip out some buff bods has always been hilarious to me. Especially putting it like in contrast with something cute. Oops. There's something. Nope. Like in the past, my favorite was always the buff bunnies. I have these bunny bodybuilders that they're just like a simple little bunny face, but then the body is these hulking man bods. It's just the funniest. Just break the Pokemon Zero. Break it immediately. How are you gonna do photorealistic bugs with your traditionally drawing humans? Basically, think about if you've ever heard of Gon. Gon. It's a wordless manga about a little dinosaur, and the dinosaur is basically like this really cartoony looking Digimon like Agumon dinosaur. And then everything else in the world is just hyper realistic. You know that series, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Just apply to the bugs. It's not a new concept. I'm not the first one to think of it. I'm hardly ever the first person to think of anything, let's be honest. And then it's a Drowsy. I like how it has like a little shawl kind of thing on its back before it turns into wings. Like this little part right here. Man, Shedinja must be a miserable existence. You know what, Zig? I think I will. Okay, well, so my reason for doing that is because I want the Shedinja to be coming out of the darkness and then Ninjask like running away in tears with Nincada like swaddled in his arms. So I kind of need to figure out how to draw that. So like tears. Right? Want his head to be tilted slightly down. I don't know what part of... Bugs are weird in that I never know what part I can use to emote with. I guess this part goes way higher. Ninja's kind of has a hole on its back too, only his is full of flesh. Oh, I forgot the wings. I just straight up forgot his wings. I'll make them small. I hate that the Pokedex, or rather Bulbapedia, calls these lines veins. These lines on its wings. It says it's got veins on its wings or something like that. Like, I guess you can call them that. I guess that's what they are. I didn't really need to think of them like that, but okay. You know, that's the person who wrote that is someone who gets me. It's not very emotive. Maybe it's like holding. Oopsies. I don't know how to make it look like they're running. They have such weird anatomy. What are these? Like these little lumps? Oh, you can't really see it. But ninjas like okay, has these things? What are these? Are those legs? Could those pop out? Do they like... Could they, like from the side, let's say. From the side. Like this. Could they like walk around on them? What would an anthropomorphic ninjask look like? I kind of think that's cute. That kind of looks cute. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of really like that. It's got yellow down here too. I can't believe Mouse is missing the Nincada Family stream. Yeah, I know, right? Zigzagoon says, yeah, that ninja just doesn't work for me. With Shelly. Are you gonna make it buff? Who's that, Daddy? Ninjas, that's your Uncle Shid Ninja. We don't talk about him. Sometimes you guys just gotta have wing veins. It's true. In fact, I haven't seen her on the site in a bit. Mouse is a busy mouse. She has drawing and homework to do. Well, I do like that, and I do like... Now I kind of just want to do a silly, one with Ninja Skull buff, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that with my with this series. I love this. This is so cute. Okay, well, that's not gonna help me though, because I need something to run away from this guy. And just like, no, don't like that. I kind of just really want to know now if Shedinja could run on its legs if it needs to, or at least crawl. You know, I would assume it would crawl, but like, what if his wings broke? Could he still get around? It's like a bee and can crawl around on its legs once it lands. Yeah, I like that idea. But I also think it's silly and funny to have him just running on them. Oh man, so I had the worst dream last night. I don't remember. Hold on, let me see if I can remember. Let me go into my headspace and see if I can remember. There was some kind of animal, and I think it was a squirrel. No, oh yeah, okay. It was a squirrel. It was a really big squirrel, and it was like super pregnant, and I had to squeeze it, and it like gave birth, and then it left, and it didn't come back, and like I got really worried because its babies were still there, and I was like, what a bad parent. I don't remember anything else. Just that it like we had babies and it didn't come back. And I was super stressed out about it. Cuz I'm like girl, you can't just leave me with these children. Look, if I was a bee and I saw that thing, I'd run on two legs too. I don't know where to put Nincada. Okay, let's make that smaller. right? Let's paint in the rest of this background, which got smaller, so it's no longer to the edge. Just paint that back in. Let's just throw some of that in there. There we go. Nothing to see here. And where would the Nincada be? Because I can make her ooh, that's too bright. Like, no matter where I put it, I feel like it's gonna block. It's gonna end up blocking the Shed Ninja. Oops. Oops. So hard to find a place for these guys where they don't block each other. That's kind of works. I think the legs are a little squashed. Doesn't seem like it has much room to... I don't know if Nincada has a mouth, but I kind of want to, like, give him a, like, that mouth. Let's see. $5,000 plus emails. Oh my goodness. Tails like, my emote was better, YouTube. YouTube's emotes, at least, are normal. I don't like how Discord changes them into little robots. Figure it's like, okay, yeah. But, excuse me. Remind me tomorrow. I don't want to do updates right now. I gotta stream. I'm streaming. Okay, I'm not really sure how to paint with a sketch. So we'll just have to, wing it. Okay, so what do I start with? Let's just start with black. What's going on? What's happening? Okay. Let's just use pure black then, since that other one wasn't working. Okay. Got the black in. Got the I'm just gonna color it in. Let's see if that works. Let's make it kind of gold instead of yellow. This is gonna stand out like a sore thumb, but I'll change the tone. I'll make it less saturated later. Just gotta sort of plot out where the guy actually is, so I can see him. And gray. And I think the black actually comes up to the eyes. Right around here. The eyes are red. There's some of this down here. And then it's this color here. Try and foreshorten the arm backwards a little into space, so it's not straight up and down. It's like it's going slightly back. Don't know if that worked, but that's what I went for. He's got I really like this little, I don't know what to call it, but it's like that little piece that's on his back. It's like my favorite part of the design. No, I do like his arm up, though. Which sucks because I'm running out of room. I don't like how close it is. I feel like I can move him closer. And yes, I am painting on one layer because the way this brush works is it only interacts with other colors on the same layer as you're drawing. So if I did this on a new layer on top of everything, it wouldn't have the same kind of paint effect. Plus this way I can just sample colors from the background and like and just paint it all at once. Kind of like if I was actually painting. Man, I really want to try gouache. Gouache seems to me, the way it looks to me is like it's watercolor that is basically acrylic because it's so opaque. And I feel like acrylic is the closest thing to digital painting in the real life, in the real world. In the tangible space of reality. So I like the convenience of watercolor in that you can just reactivate it easily with water. So I kind of want to try out gouache and see if it's if I can use digital techniques with it. I don't know. I don't know if digital painting techniques are transferable. Not that I have any digital painting techniques. It's not a technique unless you know why you're doing it. What I do mostly is just sort of pantsing. Like, well, this seems to be working. Let me do more of it. And something happens. A technique can be emulated. It can be taught, passed on. Otherwise it's just being crazy. Let's see. Do it, give it a mouth, let it scream. I feel like, so you know how like ninjas you know how like ninjas don't have mouths? You know how like some bugs don't have mouths because they just suck? They just suck. You know, it must really suck to not have a mouth. But like they just suck tree roots and stuff, and their nutrients just come from roots. Or I guess some bugs literally don't have mouths. So there's also that. But I feel like Nincada might be something like that, you know? Which won't stop me from giving it a mouth if I so feel like it. I'm just saying, that's why I'm considering why I have a little like, should I or shouldn't I, rather than just going for it. But it's not really, I'm not, you know, it's just gonna be whatever it's gonna be. I am not super pulled one way or another at the moment. Okay, that's good enough for now. Let's move on to the Nincada. Oh wait, I forgot the wings. I'll do that later. So Nincada has a lot of lines. I'm wondering how I plan to do the lines. When your design is literally just a bunch of lines on a solid color, it's like, what are the lineless people supposed to do with that? Okay, let's see what it looks like without the sketch. Let me put in the wings real quick. And then this one. Okay. Zig says, I don't see Ninjask as a runner, more of a flyer. Yeah, but the running looks more, what's the word? Desperate? This seems to be working. Let me keep doing it. Yep, that's the mood. All right. Man, it is 5:45 and I'm like ready for bed. LOL. That's so early though. Did you even have dinner yet? Ratskill says, I'm doing psych homework, but just looked in again and I'm dying over this picture. I'm so glad. Thank you for the update, Ratskill. Zig says, that's rough. Tails. I still think ninjas should be flying, not running. Zero, how late do you stream tonight? I'm gonna go until about 10:30. So that's like an hour from now. An hour and a half. The wings are later Zero's problem, like dialogue. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should call the stream a little early if I can finish this on time. No, that's a lie. I'm not gonna finish this in an hour. Who do I think I am? Should I move this guy up? I feel like I need to. I'm gonna move this guy up. Oops, this is underneath. I am so angry right now with my with Past Zero because I started doing the dialogue for the comic and it's just these huge word bubbles and like no notes on what's supposed to go in them, and I'm just like, what was I thinking? Honestly, I wasn't thinking. That's the problem. I was like, I don't want to think right now. And now I have to think because the comic is due. Like, I'm just stuck. Like, I'm on the last big word bubble. There's still some word bubbles left, but they're not that big. And it's just Getz's parting words to Jet before he flies off. And I have no idea what I had planned for that. And I'm like trying to rack my brain, like what information does she not have at this point that he has, that he wants her to have? What, like, how is he gonna plant seeds for his like strategy? Like, is this gonna be something like just cliche for him to say before he leaves, or is he gonna actually use this as an opportunity to shape her into the thing that he wants, which is to get the other stone for him, you know? Like, he needs to make it seem dire. Maybe he, like, I don't know, should talk about how the world is gonna change, but he talks about that so many times, and it's like, what isn't tired at this point to revisit? There's just too much. And I'm like, I can't put into words. So, like, you have dialogue bubbles like that, where it's, like, supposed to be exposition, and I don't know what he's expositing, But then you also have dialogue bubbles, like when Jet first sees Zekrom, out, you know, like out and about, and it's in my head. I just heard a gasp, you know, sort of deal. But I left space for dialogue, and I'm like, what should she say there? Should it be like, holy moly? Or would she say something more like, what in the... or is it gonna be more like, I never thought it... Or like, or... So it is possible, but then that doesn't sound like something she would say. It's like... Even something as simple as that gets me caught. So yeah, I'm struggling a little bit, but we're gonna get this done. Hopefully tonight. I might try to stay up until I can finish it tonight. And then after that, it's just coloring in. I always leave like Sir Francis's beard until the very end, so I still have to finish that off. And hopefully be done with it, and then posting it to the Patreon, which I forgot that February is a shorter month. So yeah, I thought I had a little more time, but hopefully it won't affect it much. I still plan to get it out this week. It's just now I hope I can get it out a little earlier than the 27th, because 27th is normal time for a normal month, and February is not a normal month. It is, in fact, shortest month, and so it should probably come out a little earlier to make up for the month's lackluster abilities to generate enough time for us to do stuff. I'm going a little crazy because the time to get my rats has gone in my brain from 2 weeks to 3 weeks since last week, because I can't math correctly, and also I'm getting them later than I could be getting them, since my friend is going on a LARP exertion the weekend of the 6th, so she can't make it out with me then. We're postponing it the weekend after, which is a whole weekend after I could be going to get my rats, and I'm just a little bit salty about it. But honestly, it's gotta be. There's no other way. I ain't making a 2-hour drive by myself, that's for sure. I probably could, but I probably don't want to. I tend to get pretty drowsy when I drive, so it's best not to risk it. Boy, Mouse is gonna be rather sad when she misses out on this. So who wants to tell her so? Refuses to raise hand. Comical? It looks funnier. As also, Mouse will probably remember on her own. None of us have to raise our hands. Mouse didn't respond when I sent her my sick art. Tails says, I did not have dinner yet, nor no dinner, just sleep. Aw, go to bed without supper. Master Wheeler says, I think she'd be busy. Likely. Oh gee, you still have a bit. Who do you think you are? Someone who doesn't noodle? That's the thing with painting, Tails. Painting is all about noodling. Normally it's like, this is it, and I better not noodle too much. But there's nothing else to do in painting but noodle. That's the whole... It's like professional noodling. That, professional noodling that doesn't involve fish. I don't know if the kind that involves fish can be done professionally. Now that I think about it. I think the fact that it's called noodling means it's, like, not professional. But, no, actually, I think... Yeah, you can noodle professionally. I mean, it's just a technique to catch catfish, right? It's not, like, indicative of professionalism. I don't know. As much as I noodle, I actually don't know that much about noodling. I gotta get this in. What even is light source? I don't think there's any light source in this... on this beetle here. So let me just render out some details on his bod, on that glistening physique. Oops. And maybe something a little shinier. There, I gave him pecs. They're a little too prominent though, so let me render them out a little bit. Let's make it look a little more transitioned through. I don't like zooming in close because then I can see all the imperfections, but with small sections like this, I think I got it. Don't know really what I'm doing here with the light source, unfortunately. I kind of imagined there would be a lot more shadow, but I forgot to implement any. Maybe that's for... Maybe there'll be a way to do that in post. If I put in all the local color, I wonder if I can just do a multiply layer and like paint on top of it to create all the shadows. I'm gonna try that. Cheating! That's what painting is. Professional painting is just noodling and cheating. Fortunately, it's one day less short than normal. Oh yeah, because it's leap year! I'm gonna head home real quick then. Discord DM you the Pokemon description in case you still want it. Thanks, Tails! Drive safely. Wheeler says, gets this. This must be a shocking experience for you. Guess it's just like, pulls out all the dad jokes. 2-hour drives by herself, they suck. My sister does them all the time. Cause she goes to school 2 hours away. So, she's like, she knocks them out with no problem at all. Wheeler goes to color Pikachu. His tail is missing! This is fine. Tailless Pika. It's always weird to see these streams with 300 plus watchers in a corner whenever I'm at these small streams. That sounds really scary, yeah. Like, I have no idea how I would keep up with a chat that's 300 viewers strong. You guys would devour me. It's hard when you find those kind of streams by people that you really like their stuff, but then you're in them and it's hard to get their attention. Like, hey, I just said something really funny. Notice me, senpai. I think my problem with painting without a reference is I always want everything to be really clear. And that's not always the case. But without a reference, I don't always know when to make things like blend in to one another, when things should be just lost in the shadows versus being absolutely easy to see. So it's hard to make it up. Hard to keep track. And also, when you use reference, you don't have to understand how the ambient light is affecting the local color. It just does it on its own, and you just have to copy it, which is super nice. And something I wish would happen now, because this is just gonna be local color all the way, I guess. I guess this part right here. I guess the yellow would reflect a little on the leg, right? I'm assuming that, and so I'm gonna put some yellow down here. And I assume a little of it would reflect maybe up into his pecs. I don't know what's reflecting it, but don't think too hard. Don't think about it. Don't worry. Don't worry. It'll all be alright. I've received a promotion at work. They finally decided to make me full-time, which is a kind of a blessing and a curse. Because now that I'm full-time, I'm gonna have to be at work more. Like, I do spend a lot of time at work, to be fair. And, it's nice that, you know, I can safely be paid for that extra time. However, now that I am officially full-time, it means I have to be at work full-time hours, whether I want to or not. At least before, it was like on my own terms-ish. Not anymore. Now I just, you know, 9 to 5, y'all regular, do, you know, be there. Sort of dealio. So it is a little more money, which is nice, but it's also less time that I'm gonna get to spend with my little ratties once I get them. Let's shave down this head. He's got a great cranium up here, but let's shave it down slightly so that I can bring it a little further away from this claw, which is very close to tangenting with it. I know he doesn't have fur, but I'm gonna put some texture on the edge there just to mix things up a bit. And I'm not quite capturing the facial expression that I had in mind. Some of them keep up with those chats impressively well, and a lot of them have help too. Zig says, I used to work full-time, but I managed to negotiate reducing that time to half. Well, negotiate probably isn't the right word, but I work part-time now. Back when I was full-time, I found myself drained and sore and grumpy. Now that I'm full-time, I still have energy. I'm not as sore, but I'm also almost as grumpy. Oh, I got you. Yeah. I got your meaning. A lot of the times I do say like the opposite word of what I was thinking that I wanted to say. And it's like, oh gosh, how embarrassing. But then when other people do it, I like hear the meaning, even though if the word was completely the opposite. Humans are pretty clever like that, you know? Okay. this over like this. Oops. This eye is way wider than the other one. Let's make it a little darker, shall we? So darken it up over here. I think I'll bring some of this up here too, as like effect strokes. You know, like in anime or manga when the character isn't feeling well or whatever. They have those lines that travel down their face. Let me see if I can do that in this style. Sometimes I feel like doing a painterly style is faster. Sometimes I feel like it takes way longer than necessary. It all depends on the image, I suppose. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to finishing this stream and then I have to go back to doing dialogue. And the problem is, like, despite all of my worrying and like struggling, the dialogue doesn't even come out that great, you know? Like, it's just subpar dialogue. Sometimes it gets the job done. Most of the times it's just kind of cheesy and overplayed, but it's like, it's the best I could do at that moment. And I never learned my lesson. I need to, if I do a personal project in the future, I need to learn how to script. Like, there's no two ways about it. Scripting, I've learned how to comic backwards, it seems, but scripting I found is very, very important. Knowing what's going to go on what page, what the dialogue is going to be before you start drawing, how many pages I feel like would be so good. But a lot of the times I'm a really bad storyteller, like writer, so I'll often skip the writing stage for later in favor of getting to do some drawing, which is really bad because then I draw myself into a corner, you know? It's like, great, you got some progress done. That's another thing. Sometimes it's like, because I want to get some progress done and I'm stuck on one part, so I might as well like try to get some progress, and it ends up just being like kind of a two-edged sword, because then I don't know what to do later. I run myself into a corner, but I then have to dig myself out. I don't really know how to shade metallic, so I'm gonna fake it. Fake it till you make it. Let's see. So I've always wanted to make sort of a grain mix for the rat's diet. Basically, when it comes to rat food, you can safely feed them a high quality lab block, and it contains all their necessary like nutrients that they need to survive. But I feel like I like watching animals eat, and I feel like it would be more fun to watch them eat like actual seeds and grains and stuff. So it's mostly for fun that I'm making a mix for them. But the rat Discord today said even if you're just feeding it sometimes, you need to make sure it's like nutritionally balanced. And when they said that, they meant like has all the vitamins that they might need. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I thought about that deeply. So in addition to having to scramble for dialogue, I also have just rat diet nutrition information like pulled up on my tabs, and I just really want to just sit down and read those instead of, you know, doing whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing. Which is great for you know, the progress. Like, absolutely bonkers out there. But I'm not sure how to shade this part on its back. Not sure. Would it be darker or lighter? I think it would be darker. I think something like that. Let's go around. Oh, Mouse is here! Hello, Mouse! You always sneak in when I get really engrossed in a certain area, and then I don't notice you until like a year and a half later. Mouse on the piano! Say, Mouse, you wouldn't happen to know a mouse with a dinosaur tail, would you? Scripting is for the weak, says Wheeler. Oh, hi, Mouse. Never heard of her. Oh, hi. Hi, Wheeler. Sounds like a scrub. Wheeler. If anyone here is a scrub, it's you! Or me. Or maybe Zero. I am the scrubbiest of all the scrubs. Exactly. If I know who qualifies as a scrub... oh. Hell if I know who qualifies as a scrub. Wheeler says, I think I found the appropriate level of planning for me with Across the Divide. Planning? What's that? Cry face. Oh, certainly with, like, personal projects. you just need as much planning as you need, honestly. Like, don't hold yourself to any, there's no fast rules. I just feel like the level of planning I've been doing so far isn't working. It isn't gonna work. Isn't conducive to a professional level of storytelling that I would like to produce professionally if I ever do that. If I, let's say, wanted to do a picture book, a children's picture book has to have a very specific number of pages. So I would have to like properly plan out exactly what goes on what page because I have a limited amount of page count to express the story. Same with like comics. Most comics would need a certain minimum, I suppose, like in terms of pages for printing, and if not, then at least within 4s. And also you have like which pages go on which side when your page breaks are, so that you can have proper you can properly take advantage of your page turns. I've known of some scary comics that actually are able to do jump scares. Can you imagine that? A jump scare in a comic? Because of the way that they do the page turns, they take advantage of that really nicely, and you turn the page and it's like but yeah, I feel like the way I do things, I'm opening myself up to a lot of like struggle and plot holes, which I don't really want to have to deal with if I end up doing professional stuff. I don't think I've found what works for me yet, is all I'm saying. I think I want this part to be darker? Is that what I want? Is that what I'm thinking? I'm like sweating a little because of the time crunch. I'm like looking at the clock and it's like, oh boy, that's not a lot of time to finish this this. Okay, I'm not gonna pay too hard attention right now to shading on that. Let's focus on the local color, and I'll get back to the shading later. I tell myself that I'll get back to things sometimes, and then I proceed to not leave it. I think there we go. Take the background color that in a little that way. I think that sort of connects over just a little higher over here. Mouse, how do you like my Nincada family drawing? Do you approve? It's kind of a scary / comical take. Because I wanted to make the Shed Ninja scary, but I also didn't want to make it too scary, so I made the other two silly. Everyone was talking about you earlier. They're like, oh man, Mouse should be here. Mouse, you've like become not only the Mudkip girl, but also the Nincada girl. Everyone knows you for two things. And neither of them are Puku Muku. I think it's fun to have a single Pokemon that everyone just associates you with. You know, for Wheeler, obviously it's Pikachu. For Zigzagoon, I guess it would be obviously Zigzagoon. For Mouse, it's more along the lines of her comic with Mudkip. Could do is Pidgeys. For a long time, I think people thought of me as the Pat Rat person. I think the wings need to be way darker. Let's cut that down. Your Pat Rat are the ones that make me like Pat Rat. Yay! I think that's why it is. Zig says, speaking of work, we had so little to do at our warehouse. The last hour in my shift was spent doing absolutely nothing. Mouse says, I love it. It's so cute. Hey, Zero, I know this is late, but Nincada has... Wait, did you say Mudkip girl? Wait, no. Mouse says, I'm only the Nincada girl because no other Nuzlocke has ever used Nincada. Also, your Nincada is the cutest Nincada. So, there's that. Mouse, you are Mouse with the dinosaur tail. It is I. Zigzagoon, you're so silly. Wheeler's like, I use Nincada. Oof, Mouse. One would think you would know that, at least. I hope you got some homework done, Mousy. I think I want that wing to fade even more into darkness. See if I can accomplish that. Just like ever so slightly on that end. And then I can shape it with the background color. Make it a little more sharp. And I think there's some red on there somewhere, so let's just drop in some. Maybe I need a darker red. I guess any other Nuzlocke that does encounter a Nincada would eventually evolve it. So in that regard, right? If you're the only one who's ever used one, does that mean no one else has done an Earthlock of Hoenn? Because I assume you got one because it's like you have no Pokemon, Mouse. I assume that's like one of the only early game Earth types. do. You know what I haven't done in a while? Save. I wonder if the wings would be way darker since they're like against the dark background. Because I made those wings on the other side way darker since I wanted them to be in the shadow, but now I'm thinking like the darkness will probably just peek right through. And now I'm struggling with the idea of painting something that's supposed to be transparent. Okay, there's the back of that wing. Let's try and get some veins in there. There we go. Veins. And gosh, trying to figure out how to make it look like I didn't just draw lines on it, you know? Which is what I did, but I need to fake it. There. I'll shade it down slightly. So it's like... I don't know if that works. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. I really like this brush. It's one of the standard brushes that comes with the paint. What program is this? Clip Studio Paint. But it's very versatile. I did a whole Bob Ross with just this brush. It's really nice. It's nice. Nice. Shade that back up because it's starting to look like they're puffing out, and I don't want that effect necessarily. No one reads Heroes of Hoenn, but Mouse reads it. Man, there's so many good runs that I haven't read. We were just talking, and I realized I really haven't read much of anything lately. You know, in terms of manga, I've completely dropped off of catching up to One Piece, which you may say is a pointless endeavor, but I was doing it. I was checking out the volumes on at the library and slowly making my way through, and you know, we've been watching Noragami, which Mouse has informed me that the anime apparently changes a lot of stuff from the manga, so I kind of want to check that out. Want to take a trip to my local second-hand bookstore to see if they have any volumes of that. Every time I go to a used bookstore, I always tell myself I'm gonna buy some Hellboy comics. Hellboy has an amazing art style. I've always wanted to like own a Hellboy comic, and so I can just study the shading and the line work. But they're kind of expensive even at a used store, and I don't know which one to get ever. They all seem to be continuations of each other, and the ones that aren't, I'm not like super crazy about the art for. Like I want one that has a good story too. Okay. Sorry, I'm noodling the wing of all things. I should move on. So, as for the arm here, I kept telling Flytech that I would read her comic. I don't think Flytech's comic is a Nuzlocke, but she works hard on it. She's in the process of like rebooting it, I think. Just like redoing all the art. So I'm like, I'll wait until you're done doing that. I'll just read it with the new art. Since you're doing it anyways, I might as well see it in its full glory, you know? The only time rebooting is like acceptable is if you're treating it, the first version, as maybe like a first draft, I guess. But other than that, I've always been of the mind like, unless unless it's an original thing that you want to get published and you want to like make it the best version that it can be, just keep going. Like, don't back paddle. Don't backslide. Unless this is gonna be your magnum opus, like, just move on. You have so many more stories to tell. But I'm a little biased against rebooting. The first instance I've ever had. Oops, I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. The first experience I had with a creator redoing old stuff of theirs instead of creating new stuff, and old stuff that I thought was perfectly fine, was Yu Yu Hakusho Abridged by Lanny Patar. Oh, those old episodes were so funny. And then for some reason he thought there was a need to re-record them, and like it was the same jokes, the same dialogue, but it just didn't feel as funny when he redid it. I don't know if it's because it was like a rehash or because I had just gotten so used to the original version of it. But it was kind of lame, and then he never finished. He never finished rebooting, and like maybe he did and like gave us 1 or 2 new episodes, but he could have spent all that time and energy just giving us new episodes. So So I have a bit of a bad impression of that concept. But I that's probably something I'm a little biased against. I don't know what's happening with this leg here. I'm trying to make it stand out against the wing, which is too... It's like not dark enough that it's pushed into the back, but it's not bright enough that it like helps the leg come forward. It's in this horrible middle ground where they're both the same value tone. And I did that. I did that to myself. What a fool I have been. Oh, there's new messages. It's just not loading. Sorry. It was like not scrolling down automatically for some reason. Mao says, I did forget you had a Nincada though. Oh, I sure don't. Poor mute. Forgotten. Nincada line is also one of those never lives to the end Pokemon. Zig says, hey guys, if you had to choose one Pokemon of each type to never evolve, ooh, which would you pick? I don't know. Most of my favorite Pokemon of each type are unevolved. So you could probably just look at that list and, it's about the same. Most of them are like, second stage Pokemon. If I can remember any of them, it's, probably something like, Fire type. Fire type, I think I need to, make, Raboot my favorite fire type. The last time I did the favorite Pokemon of each type was in December of last year. And I didn't know any, Shield Pokemon yet, so I decided not to put any Shield Pokemon on there. But now that I've played through some of Shield, I can safely say, probably enjoy Raboot more than, the amorphous blob that is, what is Cyndaquil's, Quilava. I don't have any emotional attachment to Quilava. I just think it's cute. So I would probably change it to Raboot because I think it's a unique, fun little quirk of it putting its hands in its pockets. It's quite a fun little design feature. In terms of grass type, it was Quilladin. Big fan of the round boys, and Quilladin is the roundest of boys. That one is mostly because of the way I draw it. I don't know how I feel so much if it's just like official design. That I would have to get back to you on. But when I drew it, it was like, ooh, I like these shapes. I really like these shapes, and it captured my heart in that way. Water type. Water type, I think, what do I have for water type? Let's do dark. Well, dark type is Alolan Rattata. Definitely like Alolan Rattata a lot more than Alolan Raticate. Alolan Raticate is like a big fat guinea pig. Alolan Rattata is like an actual rat, which is nice. The only problem with its design is its mustache kind of comes out a little too far, so it's hard to draw properly for me. That might be a personal thing though. Let's see. I feel like I can bring this out slightly more. So that's dark type. For poison type, I had Nidorina. I really like her shape. For I used to really like War Turtle, but I think I have someone else for water type now. Can't quite remember. Okay, I have 30 minutes to draw this, finish this Nincada up. I'm really blanking on my favorite water type. For fighting, Zig chooses Machop. Okay. For water, Poliwag. Nice one. Nincada is the only earth type that could be encountered before Dewford. It was a guaranteed catch on the run. Probably would have thought this through. Actually boxed him Newt and put him back. When someone commented they were happy I was using Nincada because no one takes him to the end. Oh, that's so nice. I mean, I tried my best to take Nincada to the end. Mouse! Tried my best to take Nincada. It sounds like Shelly didn't make it. But speaking of comics, I should seriously get back into the habit of reading on Smack Jeeves and or Comic Fury. I'm falling behind. I hear Smack Jeeves is pretty much dead at this point. Are we talking about Heroes of Hoenn? In fact, I'm gonna go catch up now. But like, while I am putting it on hiatus, Heroes of Hoenn would probably be canceled entirely if I hadn't rebooted it. I mean, that's fair. Honestly, also against rebooting. Betrayal! If an artist wants to do it, be my best. I will just never ever do it myself, not for artistic project. Hello again, you're safe! Didn't say you didn't make it, just that I try my best. Is a wasteland. Okay, like, reboots of comics is fine if, like, you need to, like, rewrite it too. Can I say that? Like, if it's not just like a reskin, like your same script, better, quote unquote, better art. If it's like you're actually doing either a different genre or a different like character dynamic, different script, different something else different, that like something in addition to the art needed to change, like not opposed to adding a few pages, like panels, like extra scenes, you know. Then I like, if you add an extra arc or so, then maybe it's worth a re-step. or if the art was just so abysmal that no one will like give it the time of day to get to the good stuff, maybe that, I don't know. But at that point, it's like, just, especially if it's a Pokemon comic, it's like just move on. Like, do something original, or make another Pokemon comic. Like, I still like you know, like Petty's run, and the beginning of that was pretty abysmally drawn, but it didn't stop me from reading it the first time. It doesn't stop me from rereading it. And of course, like, it's fine to reboot it if it's your hobby, and just drawing it is fun. That's why people like to do the draw my old art kind of it's not called a meme, it's a, what is it, like, challenge, the draw old art challenge, to see how far you've come. Maybe if you like, I can see the value of maybe what's it called when you give yourself a glow up. Like, take a page maybe and give it a glow up. Maybe not a full reboot, but let's just glow up this old page and like put them next to each other. Kind of just a let's do a draw my old art, but for comics and just for one page. That sounds like a fun use of time. I'd be down for that. I'm glad you're home, safe and sound, Tails. Are you gonna get something to eat before you pass out? Yeah, a reboot can, a raboot can make sense if the start is such a mess it makes it hard to understand. But most people do the same page with better art. Rewrite is good. HOH is being rewritten quite a bit. You listed your favorite water type as Marshtomp. That's right. That was a more recent addition to my list. Because I forgot how much I enjoyed drawing it. I think I started drawing it a little more because of Cedar, and then I remembered how much I loved my Mudkip character back in the PMD days with Sam the Mudkip, and then I remembered I had trouble like designing him as a Marshtomp, so I tried that, and I'm like, oh, I like this, and have been sad that I didn't ever get to evolve him back then. Alas, a project I shall hopefully someday return to. Zigzagoon, I think at some point you were about to say I forgot something on Nincada. Do you remember what that was? And is it too late to add it? So I think you got distracted by something while you were saying it and never finished that thought. Original Heroes of Hoenn had a strong case of not knowing what it wanted to be. I'm gonna take my meds. I had a pretty awkward mix of my current style of comic and classic Nuzlocke. Also, what spawned the reboot talk? Was it the pretty comic rebooting chapter 1? No, I was actually talking about comics that I want to read, and then that got me talking about Fly Tech, because I always remember how I promised to read that poor kid's comic and I never did. And then I remember why I never did it was because she was in the middle of rebooting, and we both agreed that I should probably wait until that was complete. So I get it the way that she wanted it to be read. And she's working real hard at it, still going strong. It's looking great. Her art is really nice. So yeah, that's where it came from. And then I had a little rant about certain Nuzlockers that rebooted their abridged series. I say certain, I meant one, the one that I always talk about. And then I never finished talking about stuff I want to read. Actually, I have a book that I bought. I have 2 books that I bought from Amazon. One of them I carry around with me. It's the Moomin Troll, first book of the series. The Moomins and the Great Flood, I think, is what it's called. I got me that because I wanted to do Moomins from the beginning. I don't know why, but that's just kind of my personality, is I like to do things from the beginning, even though you don't have to. And so I went and got the very first Moomin property I could, that was listed as Moomin, and I thought, okay, well, I might not do all of it in order, but like I want to at least see where it started, where this huge property started. And it's been in my backpack for a long time, and I haven't really gotten through most of it yet. I think I read like 3 pages of it in. In terms of other books, I also bought the Lords of Trillion, a part of the what's it called? Nightshade Chronicles. It's a book series that stars rats. And that's literally the only reason I checked it out. It's very standard sort of storytelling. It's nothing like, it's kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog, I guess, in that regard, where nothing really stands out as unique. You can pretty much guess all the plot points. It's paint by numbers, if you will, but I enjoyed it enough. I think the writing style is fun and straightforward enough that, like, clearly it's for younger readers, but the world is great, the characters are fun. I just enjoyed my dip into that world. And this is the 3rd book in the series. I read the other 2, and this one wasn't available at my library, so I went and bought it on Amazon, and I never read it. I'm gonna be very embarrassed if I check the library and it's now available like a year later, because I had waited so long and I could have just read it on from the library. That would just be my luck. But Lords of Trillium. I really want to reread the Mistmantle Chronicles. I remember that series was fun. And also Deptford Mouse, those books, the Deptford Mouse books. I think it was a trilogy, the Deptford Mouse trilogy. And then it's the histories were also good. And there was another one, I can't remember. The histories really stuck with me for some reason. Wheeler says, I guess you could say Golden Sun and PYNL are me separating the two styles and doing them better. I have no clue, honestly. Oh, yes. An additional pair of legs. Wait, just check Bulbapedia. I think it's just Shelly. You've got the right number. Never mind. I'm a merp. Yeah, Shelly used to have the right pair too, but Mouse wanted to do it a little more bug-like. Which is cool. Just as April Fool's idea. Announce you're rebooting Just Black Nose. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. Only instead of like just rebooting it, like doing what I do now before the first episode, I was wondering if I should make it like super realistic or like do some kind of style change, like try and make it really anime. I would love to make it like super anime, but like I don't know how to do the anime style, so. Mouse says, can I just say that Wheeler, I'm loving the HOH, the Heroes of Hone reboot. Tails says, give Mouse a heart attack. Tails, I didn't do anything. You babble blab. Thanks, Mouse. Oh wait, you weren't saying I gave you a heart attack, but no, for real, can we talk about Ho-Oh for a second? It's so good. Unbelievably tense. Way better. From a room. Plucky on percentage. I feel like there might be some spoilers, so I'm like kind of going past it. On the edge, known as Taibu Keko. Oh, someone into the Moomins. Taibu Keko. Moomins are cute. It's so unexpected because you're used to blah 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 blah. It's good. Mouse, I love it when you rep your favorite runs. It's so nice to hear such enthusiasm. Such nice supportive friend you are. Let's see, I'm gonna try and I think I might be able to finish this on time. I don't know. Let's make this darker. See how that looks. Also want to make this darker. And this darker. Make it even darker. And darker. I'll smooth it out, don't worry. And right there. I don't quite like this random band on its body. It kind of feels like the body itself is getting cut short. I wonder if I can lighten this part so it sort of feels a little more like there's some more abdomen down there, you know? Lighten this part. I don't know. Okay. This wing doesn't look good at all. Mouse got the passion powered for days. Oopsies. Have to turn the opacity down. I want to make the wing darker up there. Maybe a little more. Maybe a little more. And a little bit down here. Okay, I may have to finish this on my own time. We'll have to see. 'Cause it's, I have 15 minutes left to stream. I know. It's a coming. It's a coming out of the dark. Reverie in the dark. Oh, that's another thing I have to catch up with. It's I haven't been keeping up with My Hero. Ah, shucks. I could really go for a pizza right about now. I don't know why, but I suddenly feel very pizza-y. And, I'm not even hungry. Oh, Mouse, I never got to help you out with Shelly's back things. I hope you, like, figured it out or something. You should remind me at some point when I'm not struggling to get dialogue written and Patreon requests done. I need to like watch all of our stream things back again to see what my actual reactions to the NPCs were, cause that was this month's Patreon request, and I don't remember what my first reactions were. It's also weird because the Patreon requested that I specifically do it with Maddie, my player character, like her reacting to them, and I assume it's like a stand-in, right, for me as the player. But the way I like imagine the run is there is no Maddie. there is Moxie the Score Bunny, and he is the Pokemon trainer. And it's just a bunch of Pokemon with no trainer, just like wandering around Galar, taking part in the gym challenge somehow. Also, I have no idea how bug wings work, so I'm just kind of winging it. That pun was not intended, but I will take credit for it. Thank you very much. Always take credit for a pun. Yeah, this whole bug needs to be darker. It's a dark cave. Why is he practically glowing? Though I guess when something is kind of white, they do sort of glow because any amount of light will like kind of reflect off of them ish. And there is clearly a light source in this cave somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I'll get some reflective light from the ground up in here. I think this shadow is too dark. Are any of you guys out there into board games? At the school that I go to, that I work at, and went to, I guess I should say, there was a board game club that would meet every Thursday. Still do. I haven't been there in a while, but they still meeting, and there's some board games that I had never even heard of when I went there. I kind of feel like with stories, there's like a certain number of board games, and every board game is a different instance of those board games. You know how they say like there's only 8 original stories, and every other story is like those stories with a new skin? I feel like that could be said about board games. Like, you got the Mafia style game, and then you have Werewolf, which is like basically Mafia but with werewolves, and you got like Secret Hitler, which is kind of like Mafia but with Hitler. You got the what other games are there? Actually, I can't even think of any other, but that's just the impression that I get. I'm not saying that's a truth. It's just the impression as someone who doesn't play a lot of board games, but watches people play a lot of board games. So I don't really get the subtle nuances. I just kind of experience secondhand their enjoyment of it. I kind of want to play, there's a game called Root, I think it's called, and I really want to play it because the art for Root is so cute. You guys gotta look it up. I think it's called Root. It's like a board game with these woodland animals, on the box art. Definitely want to give that a try before I buy it, but oh, it's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. I want a whole comic in that style. Mouse, why would you say that? Why would you assume I said that? Board games! Like games that make you bored. Good night, Zigzagoon. Thanks for hanging out with us, as always. My favorite board game, I think, is still, Settlers of Catan. It's like the one game that I actually know all the rules for, and can sit down and play, like, at the drop of a hat. Every other game, you have to, like, reteach me the rules every time. I'm pretty bad at remembering rules. Okay, so I think I've officially run out of time. But I'm also pretty darn close to being Doug Dimmadime done. Except for the part that I forgot when I said that, which is all the shading. So, do you guys... I know Tails is, like, perishing. Who here wants to, see me finish this off tonight? And who's ready to call it quits? Anyone who likes Just Black Nuzlocke should tell me to call it quits so I can actually finish the next episode. Okay. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to get brighter over there and then turn darker while it goes up. Say is that keep noodling regardless. But y'all know me enough to have expected that by now, don't ya? You don't trust me as farther than you can throw me, and despite my small stature, I'm not very tossable because I squirm. Thing you gotta know about me, I squirm when squeezed. Can't really hear my music for some reason, but it does sound vaguely like it has looped back around. How embarrassing. Oh boy, I think I'm about ready to call it quits tonight, though. Okay, one last little thing. One last thing to really finish off this piece is some eye shines. Sure, you get some too. We'll make a little orange shine here, and then the real finishing touch. Wait, I gotta sink this wing down a little more. I feel had some weird shiny stuff around it. And then they're fear tears. You ever cry when you're so afraid you cry? I don't think I've ever experienced fear that visceral before, personally. But I assume it's something that happens when you have a working emotional emotions. Okay, something like that. What am I missing? The tears are not dramatic enough. One problem with this brush is it doesn't do perfect circles very well. I've never drawn crying very well, personally. Crying is a very complicated emotion to capture. Now this is like silly crying, so it's a little easier, but Okay. Call it quits. It is resting time soon. Resting time soon. Excited to sleep tonight. That's good. That's very good. All right. So, I have a few things left that I have to do with this image. So I will save it for maybe the start of the next session, or at the end of next session if I can finish a little earlier. But I have to still put in shadows and such, because I have a little bit of it going on, but I would like to, you know, do a multiply layer, and like this claw here would maybe be, oopsies, casting a shadow on his face, maybe. I don't know, like some of that part can go, like some of this, I don't know if there would be a shadow like going across him like that, as they're running, like maybe something like that. But so I do want to work on this more, but for now, I'm gonna see if I got something. Tails, you sent me a description of a Pokemon, and I shall attempt to draw this Pokemon based on this description and see if I can. And I'm gonna go line by line. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. And try to guess what it is. I'm just gonna go line by line and follow the instructions. And the first thing is that it's purple. This Pokemon is purple. That's the first ingredient that I am being provided. Stalk-like body and head. Stalk-like body and head? Excuse me? Okay. Blue eyes with yellow, pupils. Okay. Blue eyes, yellow pupils. I'm imagining the eyes are also stalk-like. As that is the only information I have to go off of right now. 3 pointed teeth. Oh, yellow pupils and sclera. Which tells me... What is the sclera? I think the sclera is actually the white part, right? So it actually... This part is yellow. Let's turn that around, actually. So... If the pupils are yellow and the sclera is yellow, but it has blue eyes, therefore the blue part is the iris. I chose the worst color blue for this yellow. There, that's better. Why am I still using this painting brush? Whatever, it's too late. It's too late to change it. 3 pointed teeth. I don't know where the teeth go, so pointed. They're pointing. Pointing teeth. Something like that. So if anyone is confused, what I'm doing is basically Tails has given me an excerpt from Bulbapedia for the biology of a Pokemon, and has removed any, like, really telling descriptors, such as, like, for Ninjask, it said it was a cicada-like Pokemon, so, like, none of that really telling descriptors, and I'm trying to draw it based on that alone. I think so far it's probably a Vulpix. The body consists of 2 sections. The top section... 2 sections. The top section is slightly smaller and overlaps the lower. Overlaps? What is that supposed to mean? So it's got a stalk-like body, and its body is consisted of 2 sections. So there's this section, right? And then there's this section. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. No, it can't be overlapping in terms of, like, pose, because it's not always going to be posing. Okay, so the body consists of 2 sections. What does it mean for a body part to overlap? So it's, let's see. Okay, like this. Okay, and then it's like overlapping, sort of, like it's folded in on itself, sort of, right? 2 sections. Top section is slightly smaller and overlaps the... On top of its head is a starfish-like collection of 10 tentacles. Okay. I'm still a little confused about the body part, but okay, let's go back to the head. We'll figure it out. Starfish-like collection. Tentacles. So there's like... One, two, three, four, 5. And, oops. gonna borrow this color. Okay. I think we're doing pretty well. All of the tentacles reach the ground, except for one. Okay, I think I know what Pokemon this is now, but it's too late. It's too late to apologize. I need to make him way smaller though, because this isn't gonna work. The tentacles reach all the way to the ground, okay. Except for one that stays in the air, so we'll have at least one of them still in the air. Oops. But I think I know what Pokemon this is now. Unfortunately, I think eventually with a lot of these descriptions, eventually I'll just like figure out what Pokemon it was. I don't know how we can bypass that issue, but I can safely say I still have no idea what it's talking about. Its body overlapping. I think maybe it means how it it's like covering. That part. Is there enough contrast that can you even like see what's going on? I think I need to up the contrast here. So like this tentacle goes like this. Okay. This tentacle goes like this. We've just made a new monster for the Monsters Inc. movie. I think that's what we did. Shorter and leaves its face exposed. The tentacles are light blue and covered in purple spines. Okay. Tentacles are light blue. Goes in the back like this. Okay, and it's got purple spines. I'm just gonna put the spines on the ends to save time. I don't actually know where the spines are on this Pokemon. Maybe it's got a few up here. It just looks like hair. Ew. Okay, on top of its head is a purple area with a collection of spikes. On top of its head is a purple area with a collection of spikes with a larger yellow spine in the center. I'm gonna say the area on top of its head is a purple area with a collection of spikes. So I'm just gonna say that area is right here with a collection of spikes, which I'm making the same color as the spikes from the elsewhere, and then there's one right in the middle. And if I've guessed correctly, then this is whatever that thing, Toxipec. I believe this is a perfect recreation of a Toxipec. Tails, this was a perfect Dex entry. Thank you so much for finding this. This was so funny. It works. This is a weird little experiment, and unfortunately it takes a little more planning on your end, on the viewer end, for it to work proper, I think. Because, you know, it's a little too easy to just guess what Pokemon it is eventually and, like, you know, draw it using that knowledge. But maybe with some tweaks we can turn this into, we can add this to our repertoire of end stream games if you guys enjoyed this one. But sadly that is all the time we have. My bedtime is coming up real fast. I still haven't finished the dialogue for my comics, so I'm gonna try and do a little of that before I get to sleep, as I continue to noodle this creature, this beautiful creature that we created. It made no mention of its legs, so I'm gonna give it some feet. I'm gonna give it a foot, and it's gonna have some toes, because this thing deserves toes, by golly. It's way too late. I'm so glad this file worked. She's trying to fuck. My description sounds like a peanut gallery game. It really does. We need to do the peanut gallery thing again. Those stuff are fun. So glad this is so hard to figure out. Like, if you pour caramel on ice cream, you consider the caramel overlapping the ice cream. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, that makes sense. It's so weird. Mouse figured it out, what mon it was. This is lovely. Thought it was Marnie. Oh, is that what it is? Marnie, the pre-evolution. Okay, I always get those two mixed up. I was thinking Marianne, but I said Toxapex, but I meant Marinani. But with Marinanies, who needs enemies? Am I right? I'm glad you had fun with it. Bedtime. Your bedtime is literally here. What? Oh my goodness. It's already 11. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for the last February stream. I will see you guys next month. Special thanks to my patrons, Tails, Mouse here in the chat with me. We got Hydrash, Barrel and Tree, Eworm, and Morgarizzle from the patron side. But thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful oh, and before I go, I guess Dan Genesis, shout out to Dan, who isn't on the list here but is subscribed on Twitch. But yeah, thanks everyone for your support. Thank you, Tails, for the wonderful game Pokemon description thingy that I had a lot of fun with. And I'll see you guys next month.